So when I say kill the soulmate and savior relationship, we need to realize there is something of a subconscious template that is playing out. The true source of happiness has to be in our own mind.
Hello, this is Raymond Aaron, New York Times top 10 bestselling author, bringing you Respark Your Life podcast, the world's premier podcast to ignite the fire to allow you to live life on your own terms. Every single Thursday, I bring you a multi-millionaire, world-famous celebrity to teach you about the most fascinating ways in order to live a far better life. Every single Thursday, you just need to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. I'll see you every Thursday to respark your life.
Yes, this is Raymond Aaron again, for gosh sakes. Every single time you hear my podcast episode, it's always me as the interviewer, but there's always a different guest. And I have with me Cheryl Fraser, who is an amazing lady. And her book is called Buddha's Bedroom. And that's, of course, the title of this episode, too. And there's one thing she does that is like super insane crazy. Every time I give a workshop, I talk like for 8 hours a day, for 5 days, 8 hours a day for 3 days. She gives a 4-month workshop in total silence. It's like, no, sign up for my workshop. It's 4 months long. I won't teach you anything. In fact, nobody can say anything. I can't even believe it. And so this episode is going to be about the amazing life of Cheryl Fraser and what she has to offer you in relationship. Either you're in relationship and it's not as good as you want, or you're not in relationship and she can prepare you for one. So tell me, you're like the couples thing in the universe, but I always like to go back to the childhood. Is there something that happened in your childhood that set you up for this?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Okay. It was Sean Cassidy. Okay. Sean Cassidy, TV's sexiest Hardy boy and do-ron-ron pop singer. I was so desperately in love with him that I would break out in hives when the television show came on, according to my father. And I had a belief, Raymond, and let's have some compassion for 10-year-old Cheryl, that, or maybe I was 13, that Sean would come to my little tiny town on Vancouver Island and sweep me off my feet and take me to Beverly Hills, where I would live happily ever after. Spoiler alert, it didn't happen. That was my first shattering heartbreak, and it got me thinking about what is this love thing? What is our innate longing to have this mythical soulmate? I like to say, kill the soulmate and save your relationship, because the soulmate
kill the soulmate.
Yes, I know it's a bit dramatic.
Save the relationship. It's the exact opposite.
I know, but hey, my dear friend,
yes,
who I respect so deeply.
I'm here to learn.
Are we on marriage number 1, 2, 3 now?
3.
Right? So I mean,
that's just the official marriage.
The official marriage, and same. I've had one official divorce and several beautiful longer term committed monogamous relationship.
Right.
If the soulmate myth was true, the way we felt about some of those previous partners would have hypothetically lasted strongly enough we would have chosen to work through the inevitable difficulties. So when I say a bit of shock value, kill the soulmate and save your relationship, we need to realize there is something of a subconscious template that is playing out with this. Now, to the Buddhist side, it's called Buddha's Bedroom for a reason. That's not just a quippy title. I'm a very serious practitioner of Buddhism, hence the 4 months in the woods by myself, meditating and not speaking, zero contact with the outside world. But I'm also a love and sex expert. How the heck do you bring those together? Well, the idea, and this is, I draw it from the Buddha, but many secular and other wisdom traditions teach something in a similar way, which is that the true source of happiness has to be in our own mind. So when something happens, a crisis, a disaster, someone we love is killed in a car accident, or when something small happened on the way here, I'm joining you here in a beautiful place. We've been at an amazing conference together, learning and growing together. My first flight was delayed and I was about 18 hours late getting here. Now, I could be miserable about that, yeah? Yeah. Or I could choose to say, that happened. I can't change it. Am I going to be miserable for 18 hours or am I going to be content for 18 hours? So there's the idea of happiness is in our own mind. And let me take this to the relationship realm. Now, I'm lucky people can't actually throw tomatoes at me based on what I'm about to say. Keep your rotten fruit and vegetables to yourself. But the key to having a happy relationship doesn't depend on your partner.
No.
Yeah, I know.
No. Hold on.
Okay.
No,
It's kicking me off the pod now. It's done. I'm over.
I've got a quote from my dear friend, Dr. John Gray.
Ah, yes.
Because I asked him a question. I said, I know I'm supposed to be evolved, but sometimes when my wife comes in and I haven't seen her for a whole day, I brighten up. I'm so happy.
Yes.
I look at her and say, how did you get so beautiful in one day? I can't believe how pretty she is. Or conversely, she can say one thing and I'll be so mad at her.
Okay, the first part
I haven't even told you the quote yet.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you a quote from Dr. John Gray, and then I want you to respond to it. So I said, I don't get it. I'm supposed to be evolved, but my wife it looks like she does things to me that affect how I feel. And he said, it's her job to make herself happy. It's your job to make her happier.
This is beautiful on what we'd call the relative level. It's wonderful, fantastic advice.
Okay.
Ultimately, though, if you come in and your wife smells delicious and she's delighted to see you, you're lit up. If you come in and she's had a bad day, perhaps independent from you, and she's drawn in and she's a bit crabby and she's a bit negative, if that affects you negatively, you're in a cycle of wanting you to make me happy and I'm not happy when you're not. Now, at a relative level, it's very important we all work to be our best partner, to bring our best self, to do what we can to light our partner up, to be kind and gentle and listen well when they're down. But at the ultimate or the absolute level, I am happy or not happy in my own mind. I go into this in a lot more depth in the book. And for today, probably we'll leave that part as it is for now. But I relate it to why you need to kill the soulmate, the underlying slightly subconscious template that if I'm unhappy in this romantic relationship, it's your fault because you're the wrong person. That's really what I'm pointing to.
Right. Okay.
Versus I'm unhappy, or maybe we, because there's another person, are unhappy within this relationship. And that is now a call to action, a call to greatness, a call to say, let's take a look at where we're strong and where we're weak. And a model I teach, I call it the 3 keys to passion, or the 3 keys to great relationship. And this is based on great couples research and communication research, sexuality research. Someone said recently, all models are flawed, but some of them are useful. So
Yes.
The way I like to teach couples is it's a passion triangle. And there are 3 sides we can then quickly rate ourselves on. Everybody listening, you can rate yourself in your head as you hear Raymond and I share today. So the first side I call intimacy. Caveat, I'm not using intimacy in the way sometimes people do, which is as a euphemism for sexuality. That's a great way to use the word. We were intimate last night. When I talk about intimacy with the couples in my program, etc., I define it as sort of psychological, relational communication intimacy. Everything from how well do you handle conflict? Do you have ugly fighting styles that lead to flooding and disconnect? When or if you disconnect, are you skillful at repairing and coming back together? Do you, as I like to say, love, do you apologize like a mofo? Like, are you a tremendous apologizer where you own the behavior, you express your regret, and you vow to do better, and so much more. And it's also the lovely stuff.
Okay, so do I rate myself?
Well, you hear the rest of it in a moment. It's also the talking about your day, talking about the minutia. It's always, everybody go back and listen to a solo episode Raymond did a while ago. I'm sure they can tag it in the show notes, where you talked about how to cherish your wife. And you talked about some mornings you go get her favorite Starbucks and you make her simple favorite meal and you bring in a tray. All of these things are what I'm calling this intimate side: communication, connection, edification. So rate yourself, let's say from excellent to medium to okay to poor.
I'm a mathematician. I need numbers.
Oh, use numbers.
0 to 10.
10 being freaking amazing, best husband ever.
I
my
got
goodness.
it. I know what they mean. Okay. I'm going to say we're 10 almost all the time, but then every so often she says something, it drives me nuts, and so I drop to a 2. But on the average, it's at least 9.
Your mind drives yourself nuts. She just says something, it's just data. But anyway, we'll leave that for
By
now.
the way, what am I doing? We're both in Hawaii. That's why I'm wearing a lei. And we're both at a conference. That's why I'm wearing a name tag. But I don't think I need the name tag anymore.
Shall we create a scandal and say we got laid together today?
Uh-oh.
Oh, boom. That was like a dad joke, even though I'm not a dad.
Okay, I've heard one side of the triangle.
Yes, the second side I call thrill. And that is the easiest way to think about this, everybody, is do you remember what it was like falling in love with your current partner? And everybody says yes. And I've asked this of tens of thousands of couples, and I say, what do you miss about falling in love? What do you miss about falling in love? Like, what are some of the really lovely things that came so easily that maybe you miss a little bit?
No, it's the other way around. No, I experience it all the time. Like when we crawl into bed, we'll both reach to touch each other's feet.
Yes, I do that too.
As soon as we touch feet, it's like I'm falling in love again. Aww. There's not an explosion. It's a gentleness, but it's big, and I look forward to it.
That's a delight. It's funny. I'm a big foot toucher as well. So what most people who aren't as enlightened as our dear Raymond here say that they might miss are things like the anticipation of really wanting to see each other, how much effort you made to plan dates or excitement and do special things for each other, the sexual attraction, particularly before you might have chosen to become sexually intimate together, that waiting and that build-up. And people say over and over, I felt like I was the most important person in my partner's world. I suspect you still feel that way a fair bit, but I would say you and Karen are unusual.
She admires me in the work that I do in the world.
Yes.
As if she's like my biggest fan. And I think that she's so clever, so wise, and also so beautiful. I can't believe how beautiful she is. If I haven't seen her even 10 minutes and she walks through the door, I say, oh my gosh, you got so pretty in 10 minutes. What happened? And I mean it. I'm not just faking it.
Right. You're not just...
I mean,
husband 101, tell her she's pretty.
Right.
Yeah. So this is rare, and I'm delighted. 0 to 10, how would you rate yourself on thrill these days?
I got to give myself a 10.
Okay. This is so unusual. That's why he's the master he is. And I want everybody listening to aspire to be able to honestly say 8, 9, or 10 on these two areas. I'll tell you, though, what about 94% of the couples I interview through my master classes or my programs or teaching or beautiful things that I have the privilege to do say, they might say we're pretty good in intimacy, talking, we're decent at communicating, we do struggle with ugly fighting and conflict. And thrill most longer term couples, and by that I mean together more than about 2 or 3 years. I'm not talking decades. Many of us might be decades.
That's long term these days?
Well, what I mean is it's about 18 months in, according to research, that a lot of the thrill starts to fade a little, and it turns into what I call marriage or relationship incorporated, where we're running our relationship not intentionally, not by choice, but something like a business. We're getting things done. The dog gets to the vet to get their toenails done. The kids get to school on time. The mortgage gets paid. We call the plumber. And that's great. Those are very important, logistic aspects of being in a relationship and building a life together. But so many couples end up almost fully in marriage incorporated, parallel. And where's the us? Where's the thrill? When's the last time you planned a fun, maybe surprise date for your partner? When's the last time you took them their favorite Starbucks and made breakfast and took it to them in bed? I bet everybody listening did that when they were dating, when they were falling in love. And a lot of us do the terrible C word here, which is we get complacent. And we take for granted.
Are we still on the thrill side? I've already rated myself.
Yeah, but they haven't, honey, and they're not as enlightened as you. And I got to help the people. Goodness.
I want to know the last.
Oh, the last one. Well, that's the S one. So we've got intimacy, communication, etc. We've got thrill, edification. That's everything from dates to sharing appreciations, gratitudes, these little moments of kindness. And the third side I call sensuality. Sensuality.
You tricked me.
Well, you thought it was going to be sex, right?
Well, what other S words are there?
Well, I'm a wordsmith. I suspect you are too. And I chose the word sensuality very deliberately. It, of course, incorporates the erotic, the sexual, our sexual life. But now I have some news that's going to be very relieving to some of your audience and quite surprising to the rest. 30 to 40% of couples in a longer term relationship are in a low sex or completely sexless relationship.
I've heard that.
It's not talked about enough because it's such a private and often shameful, it shouldn't be.
Right.
And when I teach this, anytime I teach, I always make sure to mention this because I can see the shoulders of 30 to 40% of the room drop, at least knowing that they're not uniquely broken. And I say the three most important words I ever say to a couple, especially in the sensual realm, is you are normal. You are normal if you have little or no desire. You're normal if you do make love on occasion, and it's okay. It's what I call nipple, nipple, crotch, good night. Now, that's not a bad thing, but it means we've got our routine, and I touch you here, and you touch me there, and it's nice, and ideally one or both people has an orgasm or an erotic, fulfilling moment of some kind, whether orgasm is achieved or not. Our bodies age, and all the psychology and the relationship conflicts all come into play, but just because it is somewhat typical, if it's 30 to 40%, that's pretty typical, doesn't mean we should make it okay. It's also typical to eat in a way that gives us type 2 diabetes. It's also typical to be in credit card debt. So just because something's reasonably common doesn't mean we should accept it as okay. And one of the dearest things I get to do with couples in the programs or when I teach or whatever is to help them look at, are they interested? Because they might not be. It's a deep, big bunch of stuff. But what would it look like for them to move from sensual to sexual? Now, I'll define sensual here, which is having pleasure through any of your senses. So a little experiment, Raymond. I'd like you to put up your hand and close your eyes. And I'm going to just stroke your hand a little bit.
That feels good.
It feels great, right?
But it's not sexual.
No.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah,
I got
bingo.
it.
So sensual pleasure. When you listen to music that lights your heart up.
Oy.
When you smell baking cinnamon buns that smell like your grandmother's when you were a child. These are sensory pleasures. So what I do with couples who might not have seen each other in the nude for years, I worked with one couple in their 70s. They had not seen each other naked in over 40 years. They told me they changed in the walk-in closet separately from each other. They'd not been sexual for over 40 years. They say this on a video on my website. They want to share it to help other couples. They took my program and they moved from zero to being sensual to being sexual and scheduling a sensual or sexual encounter once every 6 days. Because I'm not necessarily going to guide a certain couple to maybe having full intercourse. Their bodies may not do that anymore. But how can we start with introducing some fully clothed sensual touch where you can maybe rub your partner's shoulders or put your foot on their foot before you fall asleep. You can hug more. You can snuggle on the couch while you watch a movie instead of being in two different lazy boys, which when you think of it is not a great name for connecting with anybody. Go be a lazy boy and I'll be a lazy girl. And then of course,
one of my dearest friends owns Lazy Boy Furniture.
Great stuff. We love it. Supporter of the podcast. Okay. I have one too, but I have one that's a dual love seat with the two chairs together without anything in between so you can still snuggle.
Yeah.
So, of course, I also work. Let's talk briefly. We've got limited time today. What a joy to be with you all and with Raymond here in this beautiful place. Is sexuality is a really beautiful and I would say sacred part of a relationship. So whether you have a sexualized encounter once a year, once a month, or once a day, if we're not being that way with each other at all, and we're choosing and attempting to walk a path of monogamy, it means that we might have a solo sexual life, a masturbation life, and that can be beautiful, but we're missing out on a type of, I would argue, potentially spiritual, emotional connection with our partner that we neglect in a way that we lose something very precious. It's not a huge percentage of the hours of our relationship, but it is the special sauce. It can be this special connection that feels very different. So I like to encourage people to consider, with lots of trepidation, there's usually lots of baggage and issues we need to work through, a lot of hurt and disappointment, but around being naked together, literally and figuratively, right? Nakedly vulnerable, nakedly open. And then there's another aspect I'll briefly mention so it doesn't get ignored. Sex can also be riotous, fun, hot, spicy, crazy on occasion, and a way to let go, to be your full self. So that's the third side. But
okay.
I'm not a dummy, so I don't teach great sex in 30 days. I think I'd be a millionaire if I sold that course, but I wouldn't give a money-back guarantee. I give a money-back guarantee when I teach all of it, and we work on the first two.
So I need to give a number.
First. Oh, I'm excited to hear this. So 0 to 10, and It's not a frequency game. It's the quality of your sensual sexual life that you're rating.
Nevertheless, I will answer it my way.
I'm excited.
So I met her in my 60s, and I'm now in my 80s. And I heard a very wise man he was asked, what is aging? And he said, parts fall off. Well, none of my parts have literally fallen off, but some of them don't work as well as they used to.
Sure.
And so the frequency has gone down a bit, but the quality is gigantic. And I will never, ever have an affair on Karen, not just because it's unethical,
Right.
not just because it's a vow to God, but because I'll never find a sexual partner as good as her. She is amazing.
How
She's
beautiful.
just incredible. And so even though the frequency's down, because some of my parts don't work as well in my 80s as in the 60s, yeah, I'll give her a 10.
That's
Like
fantastic.
yeah, so
And-
I'm 9, 10, 10, 29.
This man
Out of
doesn't
20.
need me. But the rest of you might benefit from a little. I need to keep working on it. I'd say I'm around an 8, and these days a 7 or a 6 on sensuality. We've been neglecting it a bit due to injuries and other things and busyness. Poor excuses.
Yeah, but things happen.
They are reasons, not excuses. And so we have made a vow, my beloved and I, to reinitiate a weekly sensual date and to have a little more fun and every time we do, it's a bit like going to the gym, but way more fun. Afterward, we say, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad we did that. Why don't we do this more often?
Well, I typically make breakfast for Karen, and here in this exotic hotel, I get up when she's still in bed. I go down in my pajamas, thankfully no one notices, and I get her a coffee and croissant or something to eat. And I come back and she feels like a princess or a queen. Yeah. She's still in bed and I've done this for her. And heck, physically all I'm doing is pressing a button on an elevator. Not that difficult, but most people don't do it. And I appreciate her so much that I'm super willing to do something that is gigantic for her. And in fact, I have a rule for gifts, and I apply it in relationship. And that is, a great gift is high perceived value to the recipient divided by low cost to the giver. So if I give you a $20 gift certificate, the perceived value to you is $20.
Right.
The cost to me is $20. You divide them, you get $1. So that's just not good. But if let's say I manufacture shirts in China and they sell in North America for $100, so maybe the perceived value to you is not $100, maybe it's just $80, but the cost to me is $5. Well, 80 divided by 5 is 16 to 1. 16 to 1 is a great gift. And so in relationships, I think of anything I can do that has a huge perceived value to her, even though it may not mean much to me, and a low cost or effort to me. And I do them. She loves them, so I do them. If we're at home together and it's dinner time and she says, you know what, I'd really love a Starbucks. I said, I'll get it. Now, we live way out in the country, far from any village, but the neighboring village actually has a Starbucks, for God's sakes. I said, I'll go there. I'll go. She said, no, you won't. It's snowing outside. I don't care if it's snowing. I'll go. If you want me, I'll go right now. And I mean it, because I'm in an air-conditioned car with good suspension. Like, how can it hurt me? I have another rule in relationship. Nothing is out of the way. Nothing.
Oh, that's lovely.
Nothing, so I never have to worry. If she says, will you go to Toronto, that's an hour and a half each way, in order to do this for me, I say, sure. Nothing's out of the way. I'll play an audible book in my car while I'm driving. I get 3 hours of the book done. Yeah. So I have a rule, nothing's out of the way. And I do anything that has a higher than 1-to-1 ratio of a gift. Those are my rules. But you know what? We're a little over time, but we can't stop. Tell me about sex. You're a sex counselor. You got to tell me one great thing about sex.
Okay, the clitoris is a great thing about sex.
She said the word.
I did. Because, I'm going to be a little saucy here, but I'd like to tell, in a heterosexual relationship, I'd like to tell beautiful menfolk that in the development of a fetus in the womb, the same tissue that develops in an XY chromosome fetus into a penis develops in an XX chromosome fetus into a clitoris. Imagine all the nerve endings, because this is literally biologically, developmentally accurate. All of the nerve endings in your beloved penis, gentlemen, in something about as small as the tip of your little finger. Wouldn't you want to play with it? And expecting a woman to have an orgasm from intercourse alone, penis thrusting into the vagina, is a bit like expecting a man to have an orgasm if we tap on your balls with a pencil. So think about that. Just
Are we
saying.
allowed to say these words in public?
I kept them pretty clean. I said I'm going to be a little saucy.
Saucy, yeah.
Saucy.
But those words have never come up in almost 400 podcasts that I've done.
I'm glad to break the sound barrier.
You broke the sound
And I
barrier.
say them that way to make it pretty obvious. Now, of course, some women were built differently, et cetera, and some women will have orgasms through penetrative intercourse alone, which is wonderful. But the more men get that point that all of those delicious nerve endings are right there, it gives them a guide to say, sweetheart, if they haven't already learned this, and lots of fellows have and lots haven't, to say, teach me how you want to be touched there. Teach me what works for you, honey. And
I'm afraid to ask you any more questions. You're going to say some more vetoed.
well, tennis balls, that's not a vetoed word. It's just a word.
You're right. I guess I'm a prude. Raymond.
I don't think
Raymond Aaron the prude.
I don't think
no.
you're a prude at all. Goodness.
Okay.
And just back to the fact that our sensual life, everything from touching, cuddling, hugging, everything, it matters far more. There's great research to show it helps calm the nervous system. It helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system. It's great for stress. There's research to show that if you have a sensual life, it doesn't have to be very frequent. It actually predicts longevity. It seems to be predictive to some small but significant degree of things like Alzheimer's and ill health. It really is a beautiful way to be healthy and connected and just to have some fun together.
Sex prevents dementia. You heard it here for the first time.
Oh boy, I can see it on the front of the Toronto whatever newspaper. Slightly misquoted. Needs context.
Give our dear subscribers a gift.
Oh, what I would love to. Just this year, for the first time, I created a free 5 short videos course on the 3 keys to passion, the intimacy, thrill, and sensuality. Each one comes with a little worksheet. You can do it alone or much
the
better
3
with your
sides of the
sweetheart.
triangle.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
So it's a little mini course. It's like a preview of my 3-month immersion program, and you can get it for free clicking the link below. And if you'd like a little more of me, you can check out my own podcast.
But tell us the link anyways.
Oh, the link to the course? Go to drcherylfraser.com, and then I think it's /
No, don't
reboot.
make it up. Oh, gosh.
Pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay. Doctor, that's DR.
DR.
Cheryl Fraser, FRAZFRASER.com.
Yeah, that's the website, and on there you'll be able to click and go to the reboot free course and just put in your email. Boom, you'll get your first lesson delivered. Little video, little worksheet, couple questions to discuss with your sweetheart. Couple days later, part 2, and so on. And you can rate yourself, and you can get some teachings and get started right away on improving the 3 sides to passion.
Wow. Mwah!
I have a crush on him, but I don't think Karen will mind. We're both very ethical.
Okay, 10:40, over and out.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, I sure hope you enjoyed that fascinating episode. Please make sure you've subscribed, and please tell your friends, if you like it, that they will probably like it as well. For your information, this experience, this service, this podcast has been sponsored by the Orbit Coaching Program. All of my friends, all my world-famous speaker friends, all have coaching programs. Mine has been independently rated as the #1 high-level coaching program. You cannot purchase it. You have to audition for it by me personally. If you're interested, please email me at respark@aaron.com. Respark@AARON. Say that you're interested in being considered for the Orbit Coaching Program and include your cell phone number so that I personally will call you back.